A stochastic fiction game. This is a timed writing game where I'm going to give myself 90 minutes to write a story based upon this outline I'm about to create with this stochastic fiction game script. It just outputted this file right here, and inside this file are some randomly generated story elements for the stochastic fiction game. When I open up this, well, we'll see what we got to write today for our stochastic fiction game with these story elements within 90 minutes. For today's stochastic fiction game story elements, we have setting time present, setting main location train, conflict person versus self, quantity of primary characters 1, point of view third, tense past tense, genre thriller, format novel first chapter. Those are the stochastic fiction story elements for today's stochastic fiction game, which means I need to write a novel of a first chapter that has to happen entirely on a train, and it has to be a thriller. A thriller. Well, there's plenty of thrillers that have happened on trains before. The one thing that's making me a little bit tense is the past tense. I always write in present, typically default, so we'll see if I can stick to that. And we're on a train. And it's a thriller. Well, hell, this is where you have the initial opening conflict, right? You gotta have something that drives, that moves the story forward, and then creates the conflict for the remainder of the story in the first chapter of a thriller. What kind of thrilling thing needs to happen here? Action, adventure, government secrets, a spy. That's thrilling. It's not a murder mystery. It's not a love interest, so there's not going to be like love. Who needs love anyway? Everybody needs love. That's who. But let's not answer the question about love. Let's go ahead and try to think of the story with these story elements that I have been ignoring for just a couple seconds, as I should be looking at them and try to decide what the story will be. Not a burglary. Although I just recently saw, and by recent, sometime I think in the past 6-7 months, maybe 9 months, maybe a year. Once you get old, a year is recent. Some Woody Harrelson movie about stealing money from a train. Money Train, I believe it was called. It was a subway. I just seen some movie recently. I forgot the name of it. George Clooney was in it. They were on a train, but that wasn't a thriller. That was some Hollywood egotistical, self-indulgent film that glorifies itself. Not necessarily a thriller. There have been terrorist attacks on trains. There's a nuclear bomb. It's a thriller. There's got to be some imminent danger. Then now I gotta think of what trains I've been on to inspire that. I haven't rode in a lot of trains. Mostly in Europe, between the places. In the good old US of A, I've been on I've been on passenger train twice, maybe. Yeah, that's it. I haven't done a lot of passenger train travel. I've been on metros and in city trains to get me to a place. Plenty of those throughout the world. And that's, I guess, a side of sort of a train. It's person versus self. So if this is the conflict for this first chapter of this thriller novel, it's got to be a person bringing this upon themselves. It's making it thrilling. Maybe that's the handoff for some sort of spy thing. Like this is a story about a thumb drive or a data drive. I mean, geez, this has been done. Something that I have to give to some person for some reward, and that something goes wrong. For some reason, there's this one movie called, I think it was called The Enemy of the State. Enemy of the State, maybe. It had some actor whose name eludes me right now, and someone slipped some sort of data drive or data upon him. It was an old friend, and I think Gene Hackman was in that movie, and Will Smith, if I remember The Enemy of the State right, if even that's the name of it. I'm just thinking of a thriller that started off with someone, but they weren't on a train. I don't think they were on a train. I think they interrupt. That doesn't matter. Just movie has nothing to do with this thriller right here, because it has to be on a train. It's not going to really help me out think of a story or help me out weed or remove or filter out thoughts that have been done, because that's effectively what I'm trying to do right now, is to make sure that I'm not lifting or ripping off any sort of recent thoughts about thrillers on trains. Not that I, think about them often. I don't. And I don't really seek out those movies because they bore the shit out of me. I really don't care. Half the time it's just about the action, and I've seen enough action in my life that I've seen it done right, and it's seen it done wrong more often than right. So I'm always skeptical about going into any action flick. So that's going to make me write this thriller a little bit more difficult. It's like scoring a thing. Maybe it's drugs. You're either going to be handing off drugs, you're going to be handing off a military secret, maybe. What would be the modern day relevant? Because our government is so far out of whack right now, hacking into it or getting what you wanted from it would probably be really easy. There's not sophisticated people running it right now. And those sophisticated people could be easily manipulated with money, obviously. Obviously, because it appears to be going on that way right now. Maybe this is the thriller to prove them out, too. This could be some, modern version of what's going on in the government now, or what people believe's going on. Some people know what's going on and like it, meaning we're selling out to different countries. I mean, every country does that. It's just the one that you want to sell out to or have the guidance of your country to sell out to. And they say, no, we don't sell out. Everyone does. Everyone's got a price. Even I have a price. Hell yes. Give me lots of money, fame, love. I'll probably be subdued for a couple seconds. That's going down a rabbit hole that was pointless. I'm trying to think of what's this conspiracy? What's going on? Like, you can't have any information anymore because no one's going to believe it. You can't have that data stick that you're trying to pass off as like some sort of encrypted secret. Because even if that secret's true, they're just going to say it's AI. And then people that need to believe it will believe it because they'll need something to believe in. And the people that support them that would think that they were evil if it was true will believe them because they don't want to think someone they supported is evil. So it's AI. So it can't be data. Unless it's like permanent data that actually can do a thing. It can't be any sort of risky, video of someone murdering another person. That's just, no one's going to care. I mean, honestly, the government killed someone illegally and be like, yeah. Most people would be outraged and then forget about the next day, and supported by those few that love the idea of just murdering people who are your enemies, who are your political enemies, not necessarily like your soul enemy. Of course, for many people, political enemy and soul enemy is the same thing. So we're getting there. We're getting to the thriller. For some reason, of course, all this political talk has me thinking of, what was it, No Way Out, with that one actor. And that one, Sean. Oh man, yeah, he was a Russian spy. Ended up being sorry, spoilers. And that was thrilling. There's lots of running in that, lots of tension. Sean Young was in it, and Gene Hackman. Come to think of it, I can't remember the other actor's name. Very famous, but anyway, let's not do a political thriller. On a train. Maybe it is in the DC metro area. That way it could be like political. So let's go there, and it's gonna be a thriller. But what's so thrilling about that? Nothing. Nothing at all. Fudge, man. Just more talking than anything. I gotta start writing something. It's gotta be the novel first chapter too. Um, so I've had a cabin before in a train. I just share it with quiet people. With the quiet people cabinet versus the loud and obnoxious drunk people cabin. Didn't rent it, didn't know anybody. That's just how you sat on the train. If you had a ticket, you got one. I can't remember where that was at. Prague? Somewhere. We are. Maybe it's. I mean, it can't really be anything. Like they wouldn't. Doesn't like that just doesn't fly anymore. Maybe the thriller is they're getting chased by immigration ICE officers. Ooh, on a train in DC. Why would that matter? No, that's like, it just happens. That's reality. Um, let's do that. That's a good political thriller. That's a good thriller. But what are the what is our protagonist doing? Maybe our protagonist is in ice. Oh yeah. And this is like a thriller that makes them realize, what would be the realization? That the president, like someone's going to have proof? Yeah, let's do that. How am I going to do that? There we go. I got it. It'll make it at least trigger, it's present. So setting time present. If there's a past, the future, this would be a little bit different. Train. It'll be metro train in DC. It'll have to be in DC. It'd be easier. Person versus self. Yeah, there we go. This person's an ICE agent. They realize the person they arrested was actually probably innocent and was probably a political enemy. And then they find out it's true. So let's have it where they're wrestling the person to the ground. The suspects. And it is this, what is third person, present, past tense, third person. So the suspects, the illegal alien. Squirmed. And the vice and these are going to be like reflective of, the ICE agents that exist now. It should be called ice cream agents. A little jab at their physique and their low standards for recruitment. Let's make this the probably what most of those ice cream agents think in their own mind, that they're powerful. They're actually like muscled, healthy, and right. Part of the master race. Judging from the pictures I've seen of those ice cream agents, that's just not the truth. If there's such thing as the master race, and there's not. If there were, they would not be part of it. The illegal alien suspect squirmed in the vice, in the big, massive hands. How does this is going to end probably with this person's got to get some knowledge dropped. There's got to be something that convinces this person that this illegal alien is really a suspect, is a political enemy of their boss. Like what? There's nothing like. Maybe they're speaking. Maybe the ICE agent speaks Russian. Present day, something. That'd be like tapping into, because in No Way Out with Kevin Costner was the Russian agent. Sorry if I spoiled that for you, but deal with it. You should go see the movie. It's a good movie, even if you know at the end, that it's Kevin Costner. Yes. I don't know any Russian, and I don't want to look it up and spell it wrong because Google told me the wrong thing. So we'll just have the illegal aliens squirmed in the ICE agents. What the hell? Like a sleeper hold. The agent's massive. Muscles flex. Choking. What is this person going to be? What are they going to look like? It's going to be, like a human. I'm talking about the person that they're choking. This purported illegal alien that's really a political enemy. And like any label, the illegal alien suspect squirmed in the ICE agent's sleeper hold. While they lay on the ISIL. As they laid on the aisle of the metro train, surrounded by business suits, standing. The illegal alien suspects squirmed in the ICE agent's sleeper hold while they lay on the aisle of the metro train. Be like they think they're MS-13. I mean, that's what they label everybody. Right. Those are the cases you want to hear about. Well, that's the cases that makes a lot of people who don't mind innocent people getting beat, jailed, want to talk about. Is that like one rare ghostly MS-13 member that is connected and second in line to be head of some cartel that got busted driving in Minnesota. Those are the subjects of the news that people who support this type of activity want to read. And so that is where I'll come into this. At least that's the sort of, I guess, agency they give this person here. They're choking. I got to build that up. So at the end of this chapter, this ICE agent has some sort of realization about like what they're really doing. And this has got to be a thriller. So they're the one that gets chased. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. If I don't get to the end, this is what happens is the ICE agent, melting ice. We'll call it melting ice cream. Let's call it melting ice. There we go. That's the story, and we're going to call this ice cream. This is the first chapter. Like ice cream. Squirmed and screamed. Let's start with the scream. The illegal, a citizen. I mean, the shout, holler, is scream. Like I'm gonna scream in fright, right? I'm gonna holler in rage. So let's go. I like the. I mean, I've long had in my mind, at least, the ice cream label. Ice cream label. That is not ice cream. Like they sound the same, but I'll just get beyond that. Not have to say it out loud again for a while. I mean, you don't have to watch many news reports to realize that they're not exactly hiring a lot of these ICE agents for their ethics and physique and ability to actually do their job. Which would be helping people, not necessarily beating the hell out of them. Anyway, I guess they can't even do that job with their physique. You get tired. Probably just walk real fast. Most of them. Let's get beyond that. Let's sort of rise up and write about this thriller called Melting Ice. The first chapter is called Ice Cream. And I got to have this citizen who's getting arrested. But they're going to be, if this is the present, there's going to be no like additional technology. But it's going to be the ICE agent that this thriller is going to be about, who now they're going to, you get handcuffed. Special agent. I think this Barnes. Grabs agent. Screams the suspected illegal alien, the accused. The accused to be illegal alien. I wish I had my dice. I'd roll for gender. I guess what's to show the extremes of this thing. If I made it, that's what it'll be. Ooh, that's what it'll be. Yes. We can really roll in all of the, it'll be hard to write this though. I didn't put on this stream the adult content label. I don't have to get into that. I'll just have that in the story. It's going to be a woman. And they sick ice on her, the special police. Yeah. Screams the accused illegal alien while she squirmed in the ice agent's sleeper hold. She kicked. She gasped. Her breath, her voice sweet, her breath. I don't. I'm a citizen, screams the accused to be illegal alien. The accused, the suspected, just go suspected, man. Screams the suspected illegal alien. While she squirmed and the ice agent screamed. See, there's my present tense. I'm called Ice Scream. And Melting Ice is the name of the chapter. Or the book. There's going to be an action. I like that. That's not too bad, you know. We'll see. Got an hour left. We got to just get to the point where the ICE officer is the one being chased. And this is the romanticized version that probably many of these ICE officers have in their mind of them being some sort of RoboCop. When really they're more of a Roomba. I'm a citizen, screams suspected illegal alien. While she squirmed in the ice agent's sleeper hold, her breath wheezed while they lay on the aisle of the metro train. The suspected illegal alien surrounded by business suits. All right. I got to get the ice. Squeezes the scream from her breath. Chokes the scream from the illegal alien. It's better. Fewer words. More direct and impactful. From the suspect. It's got to be a he. I mean, predominantly it's male gender, at least from the data I've witnessed. I've got to say I'm in a supposed battle zone, but I haven't seen any real life ICE agents. But the ones I have, through all the data streams I consume, have been largely male, even though they're wearing masks. Yeah. Even though most of them have breasts, you can tell most of them are men. The ICE agent chokes the screaming suspect, chokes the scream from the suspect. And said, I missed 13. Screamed the suspected illegal alien. breathways. I must. People step, raised briefcases, and step back, smudging loafers. I'm not. I like dress shoes. They're not sneakers on this train. Two face masked ice agents push and yank a path between the morning commuters. And scream. One ICE agent grabs a lawyer from the firm Hodgkins and Ross by the neck. Them capital or capital? Grabs. Let's just do skin color because they're being racist too, right? And it's got to be past tense. Grabbed, pushed and yanked, raised, past tense. I'm slipping in the present tense. Pushed and yanked a path between the morning commuters, and screamed. Ice screamed. Ice cream. Ice cream agents. One agent grabbed a brown-skinned lawyer. Hadget and Ross. By the neck and pushed them into the laps of two interns on the way to Capitol Hill Pages. The suspected illegal alien. Okay. Another. We have another MS-13 member here. The suspected illegal alien. That's so sales. We got the two face mask agents pushing yanks. Boom, boom, boom. We have the opening up for this story. We got 54 minutes left. And I think there's at least something here. Maybe. The suspected illegal alien surrounded by business suits. Let's do. We already have that, so let's. I mean, I gotta get into the details here. The choked, suspected illegal alien. Because they're both choked now, though. How am I going to get back without conflating the one on the floor, I guess? The other ICE agent. Agent. We got to give this ICE agent a name. ICE agent. Agent Rand. I don't know where Rand's. Maybe I know. It's Rand Paul. I know. Read an article from that yesterday, and that's always a fun one. Mental gymnastics it takes to hear anybody talk these days and justify all the stuff that's going on and shrug their shoulders and be proud of themselves that in the back halls they mock everything that they do in public. Cowards. I'm a citizen, screamed the suspected illegal alien while she squirmed in the ICE agent Rand's sleeper hole. Now I got at least a name. Agent Rand. Squeezes there. Agent Rand squeezed their illegal alien's throat. I mean, the sleeper hold squeezed their sleeper hold around the illegal alien. Of their illegal alien. Cuffing. I think they're going to scan and realize that there's a blip or something. There's something weird that's going to be going on with this. Something that's weird enough to like give them question. And then at the very end, they're going to be the ones getting chased. Maybe they even have brown skin. Therefore, their constitutional rights no longer exist. Agent Rand squeezed their sleeper hold of their illegal alien. The illegal alien's body relaxed and lay on top. The suspected, no, just the illegal alien. They don't suspect anything. They just know. because they're part of the ice cream crew. Agent Rand squeezed their sleeper hold of the illegal alien. The illegal alien's body relaxed and lay on top. Cuffing need clear, said Rand. I don't know if I want to give any insight like this. Like, this is like sort of like I'm now telling you that this does happen. And I realize there is that need. But I could always show them, have everyone say Rand. So I'll just say, is this... Now I have at least established Rand as an ICE agent by starting with the full name and connecting it and having some dialogue with just Agent Rand and then having it just go into Rand after someone called him Rand. I won't have to have that lame like... Well, anyway, I just showed it. Rand squeezed their sleeper hold of their illegal alien and the illegal alien's body relaxed and lay on top. Cuffing need clear, said Rand. Along the aisle, metro train car. The ICE agent shocked and pushed people from the path along the aisle and the two doors of the metro train car. The ICE agents cuffed the ICE agents shocked the woman. The ICE agent shocked the woman. She dropped her baby. Agent Rand. Let's see. So, wait. Cuffing need clear. You just made someone pass out. And so they were cuffing them. So let's see. So Rand cuffing need clear. They cleared. This is action, right? So Rand's going to be this hero. You got to show this person's compassion, at least, or try to. It's a facade, because they're all just hateful people. Yeah, so I'm going to generalize it. By now, if you're joining ICE and you've seen those videos, and that's what you want to get yourself into doing, you're a hateful person. The ICE agent shocked and pushed people from the path along the aisle into the doors to the metro train car. The ICE agent shocked a pregnant woman after she screamed, "My baby." The pregnant woman screamed. Let's do that. "My baby." The ICE agent shocked the woman and she dropped her baby. Rand crawled to a crouch and leapt between agents and grabbed the baby before it hit the train car floor. This is what's going to trigger him, I think. Right here. The woman, the mother. Now we've got to at least put the human to it. When you start to connect and put a different label on a human, other than just some sort of vague sense of gender identity. Woman, man, they. It's easy to classify them as something you can be against. Put that label of mother, a little bit harder, a little bit more difficult. There's always some sympathy for a mother, especially one that's caring for their kid. A pregnant woman screamed, "Babe, my baby." And the ICE agent shocked the woman. She dropped her baby. Rand called to a crouch and leapt between the agents and grabbed the baby before it hit the train for a car. The baby screamed. Cried, and the mother stepped back and stepped on the handy. They're gonna step on the arm. The stepped on the shoulder, or nudged. Stepped and nudged the shoulder, Rand's shoulder. Standing ice agent shouted, the babies screamed their cry, and he stepped and nudged Rand's shoulder. Yeah, standing ice agent shouted, grabbed the mother and pressed the shock rod to their neck. And smiled, seeing the electric arc pierce the skin and trigger convulsions. Feeling the joy of inflicting pain. A standing ice agent grabbed the mother and pressed the shock rod to their neck and smiled, seeing the electric arc pierce the skin and trigger convulsions through the body of the mother. Feeling the joy of inflicting pain, the ice agent waited till the body went limp. Till the body waited until the body not went limp. Let's not have like some excuse me. Excuse me again. What time do we have? Oh, I ran out of batteries. The stream time. So this has been streaming for 54 minutes, so I got 36 minutes left. Okay. And I have to charge my clock. Obviously, the power just went. And, the doors open and agents pour into the train car. Stands with the baby and watches Agent Lindell and Agent Paul. No, let's not do that name. Tremin. the limp body. What's gonna like what triggers? What's the trigger? Because this agent's got to be on the run at the end of this soon. Like I've got tension, but I need this. What are they gonna do? What's the trigger? He says, "Where's the mother?" Special agent. Says, Special Agent Lindell placing the hood over the suspected illegal alien's head. Arrested for sporting an MS-13 member. Now they got to say something. A victim. No victim here. be like this fake thing that would happen. Someone would have some sort of moral understanding at this time. It's never going to happen. This is all fiction. That's why thrillers are fiction. Because no one has that much of a, I don't know, it's a jaded world. What time is it? All right, I got 29 minutes left. There's some story here. It doesn't feel enough to really like give reason why this Rand's suddenly going to go rogue. Drop it. Peered. Man, this is where I get when I get into the flow of words. I go past present tense. Fortunately, my writing stood, watched, lifted. He said, well, it's better now than when I just was reading it. Okay, I said past tense there. Peered, I've got that one updated. Last checked, he pointed. Drop it. Okay. Past tense. The doors opened and agents pushed into the, and agents. Wheezed. Screamed. Choked. Screamed. Okay. I think I got most of that past tense, so I won't have to screw that up too much while I read it aloud and then realize I got everything written in past tense. Present tense. Now it's past tense. So drop it, said the illegal alien. But she said she worked for the president. Drop it. What was the special agent's name? Special agent. Special agent. I mean, this is a thriller, right? We got to have MS-13 recruiting all those Somali refugees to spread MS-13 everywhere. I'm not saying MS-13 is not a threat, but it seems to be the cause of a lot of fear amongst the pop culture media that I consume. Conservative pop culture media. MS-13 is the predominant, I guess they would call it a straw man thing you point at. Want to put everybody in that bucket, make them global terrorists. Because somehow tie in the Somalis, man, you can do some damage. So drop it, said the special agent. He peered. Past tense. His thick brow. MS-13 is everywhere. What's the other one? Oh my God. Aryan Aryan Brotherhood? Is that the most recent sort of broad terrorist label that's also coming up in headlines about arresting people in America with brown skin? I think so. It seems to be the one that's trying to be manifested now. This is so fucking depressing. Drop it, said the special agent. He peered to his thick brow, peered from his thick brow. He could peer from it. MS-13 is everywhere. Might be joining with a what the hell is it? The Muslim Brotherhood? What is that? We'll just call it the Brotherhood. No, not the Aryan. No, because ICE will be supporting the Aryans. And I say that, and it sounds like, hey, you're crazy. You're talking conspiracy theories, but it's not too far from truth of individuals who would take that job. Because you got to really hate people with brown skin or just, I don't know. That's crazy. Must just want to beat people. That's insane. It's sane, I guess, because it's going on. It's our sanity. I guess it's insane not doing that. MS-13 is everywhere, of course. Huh? He's new. You're new. Yeah, that's why. Special Agent Lindell. I turned them into a special agent. You're new. Just do what you're told. Don't let that. Ooh, man. I can't give this person a college education. They probably reject his application to ICE. Or an education. Probably could have a criminal record. As long as you're criminalizing against people that with brown skin. And you have white skin. You could, probably reasonably have, the closer shade to whiteness, the higher the ability of the crime, the more severe the crime could probably be to get the job. It's not crazy to think that's true. That's the scary part. There's a lot of people out there probably that's far from the truth. Anyway, fortunately, no one's listening. Unfortunately, no one's listening. Not to me, but to everything that's going on. Your news says, just do what you're told. Did you get your medal? It's a metal? Man, I can't even think of how to spell the word metal. It's how long it's... I mean, it's not been that long. Metal? I'm going to meddle around in something. I'm going to cast some metal. I just want to meddle. Metal? Metal? Metal. You'll get a medal. Why? What's the... I gotta have a trigger. I gotta have something happen. I gotta have... This is a thriller. I've started out with a thrilling scene. Tense. Conflict. All those things that you would want in a first chapter of novel. Everything I would want. I mean, you. I'm putting my preferences in storytelling, or at least my default settings in storytelling when faced with randomness. Person versus... This is definitely person versus Rand. There's one primary character. I guess they are the yeah, I don't know. They're all secondary characters to Rand right now. Probably missed that mark, but let's just go with what I got. Huh? Rand looks at the... what does Rand look at? Rand looks at the... Rand looks at something. Looks at the report. Cast on the lenses of their field goggles that reports the woman he choked out was an intern for the president. Is that how it ends? Is that the first chapter? Would that grab anybody? And then the next chapter would be the award. And then the thriller would begin. Ice sculpture. I don't know how to spell sculpture. Would be the second chapter. And this one would be, they get a medal, an award. As they just tell the bigger lie. Ice sculpture. That is the second chapter, and this would be the first chapter. Really quick chapter. But let's just start it off with some sort of action, some sort of adventure. I could probably draw this out a little bit more, but I don't want to. I want to make sure that it's all tightly formed like it is right now. And I got about 15 minutes left if I so choose to edit this. I think it's all in past tense. Let's just make sure it's in past tense. I'm going to read this aloud. I think I at least have the structure of everything that would be required for me to feel like this is some state of done. Said. Let's correct all this stuff and let's read this aloud. said, looked. Man, that's crazy. Said. All right, let's read this aloud. Yeah. And the second chapter would be called Ice Sculptures. And it was first chapter of a novel, I hope, which would be called Ice Cream, of a book called Melting Ice. Ice Capades. I like that. Ice Capades. Isn't that? It's, man, I don't know. Melting ice. Let's go with melting ice cream, ice sculptures. They'll be melting. There'll be ice things. So let's just go with melting ice. It could be called Ice Capades, but I feel like that is too closely related to some sort of title of a thing. Anyway, the timer is, well, battery, its energy ran depleted, but it is near time for this to be done. This stochastic fiction game outline. Let's read this aloud and let's rate it at the end. For today's stochastic fiction game story with these story elements: setting time present, setting main location train, conflict person versus self, quantity of primary characters 1, point of view 3rd, tense past tense, genre thriller, format novel 1st chapter. The book name would be called Melting Ice. The chapter name would be called Ice Cream. Ice Cream. I'm a citizen, screamed the suspected illegal alien, while she squirmed and the ICE agent ran sleeper hold. Her breath wheezed while they lay on the aisle of the metro train. I'm a victim. No victim here, Agent Rand choked the scream from the suspect and said, MS-13 here, folks. The suspect wheezed, I work for the president. The people raised briefcases and stepped back. 2 face-masked ICE agents pushed and yanked a path between the morning commuters and screamed, ICE, get out! One ICE agent grabbed a brown-skinned lawyer of the law firm Hadget and Ross by the neck and pushed them into the laps of 2 interns on the way to be Capitol Hill pages. Is this another MS-13 member here, Rand? Rand squeezed the sleeper hold around the illegal alien, and the illegal alien's body relaxed and lay on top. Cuffing, need clear, said Rand. The ICE agent shocked and pushed people from the path along the aisle and to the 2 doors of the metro train car. A pregnant woman screamed, my baby! The ICE agent shocked the woman and she dropped her baby. Rand crawled to a crouch and leapt between the agents and grabbed the baby before it hit the train car floor. The babies screamed their cry and people stepped and nudged Rand's shoulder. A standing ICE agent grabbed the mother and pressed a shock rod to their neck and smiled. Seeing an electric arc pierce the mother's skin and trigger convulsions through the mother's body. Feeling the joy of inflicted pain, the ICE agent waited until the body limply fell to catch the mother and drag her to the doors of the train car. The doors opened and Agent thrashed through the train car. Agent Rand stood with the baby and watched Agent Lindell and Agent Trader lift the limp body of the suspected MS-13 illegal alien. He said, where's the mother? Special Agent Lindell said, placing a hood over the suspected illegal alien's head, arrested for supporting an MS-13 member. Rand peered. Neither suspect looked MS-13. Last I checked, they don't wear shirts, skirts, and blazers. Like going to a job. He pointed at the woman with the bag over her head. She scans MS-13, but she said she worked for the president. Drop it, said the special agent. He peered from his thick brow. MS-13 is everywhere. Reports her. They're joining the Brotherhood. Huh? Said Rand. Rand looked at the report cast on their lenses of their goggles. That reported the woman he choked out was an intern for the president. She worked for the president. You're new, said the special agent. Just do what you're told. He grabbed Rand's shoulder, and you'll get a medal for this. That was chapter 1. Chapter 2 would be ice sculpture, and then there'd be other chapters to where something would happen to the now hero protagonist Rand as they tried to find the corruption and true illegal nature within their world. And I got to rate that. I liked it. I could go with this all day long. It checks my boxes, so I'll give it a 4. It's easy to do that with something like this. Phonetically thriving. I could see a sex scene in this too. I don't write a lot of sex, so that'd be interesting and fun to do. Maybe if it's like a pulpy novel, you could just get really, graphical with it. Although society definitely loves graphical violence. At least American society loves graphical violence more than like graphical sex. So, but they love, they love graphical sex. They just don't want to admit to it and put it in their popular media as much as they do graphical violence. Write a story. Rate a 4. At least from my experience. Other people have other experiences. I have not added this story to Git. Let's do that right now and then save it. So we can call end of this game right there. Timed file when created, timed file when committed to my writing repository of words. And until the next time those words are written, thought, the next time I stream. Yeah. Try to be loving of other people.